Alrighty, and welcome back to NOVAtazz Automotive Podcast, episode 21 of this year. Sorry about being a little bit sporadic this year, but this year is a little bit of a interesting year. I don't know if I like the camera up that high. We'll have to see. But anyway, so back with episode 21. Took a break last week because of 4th of July weekend. Figured you guys wouldn't be up in here. But back here again this week. And let's see if I can use this thing. There we go. Alrighty. Topics this week. Don't really have any topics this week. Not sure what we're going to chit-chat about. Did have an interesting comment this week, and I keep getting this comment on this one particular video. It is my video with the zip tie door spring hack, and people don't get why I put it up. Why don't I just use the tool? And there's reasons for that. I mean, there's tons of videos out there with using the correct tool. Do I have the correct tool at the moment? No. Did I used to? Yeah, I used to have it. But what it was interesting is people just like, oh, the tool's only $8, you can get it, whatever. Well, back when I learned how to make this tool, or to use this hack, which is basically just zip ties a bench vise or a C-clamp and cinching down the spring with the zip ties, until it's there. Back when I learned how to make that, we didn't have Harbor Freights where I was at. We had Sears or a Snap-on or Mack truck. That's what you had to get tools. We had Sears, and we had, if you were lucky to have a shop and were able to get to a Mack truck or a Snap-on truck or something like that. So you had like your department stores with a hardware section or whatever. And so specialty tools like that were hard to come by. Hey, we got Jay's channel copping in. Welcome aboard.
When the thing decides to cooperate with me and rotate, might be nice.
Right? It may not. You just might be forever sideways.
Now it's showing me upside down instead of what the fuck.
I gotta get this. I hate this view. There we go. So much better. Quite dark over there. Oh, but anyway, we were talking about my door spring hack with the zip ties, and how people keep complaining on that live. I mean, on that video that the tool's only like $8 at Harbor Freight. I'm 37 years old. When I learned how to do this, there wasn't such thing as a Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight didn't even exist yet.
How the fuck do I get this thing together? Let's try this. See if this helps.
But yeah, I don't know. So anyway, their complaint was that, and I'm like, I should go back and read my comment, but
that's how you do that.
So the person wrote, I don't understand the point. The tool is $8, and zip ties would probably be at least half of that. Number one, I've never seen three zip ties cost $4. Not me.
Yeah, no.
And number two, I don't know anybody that doesn't have a couple of zip ties floating around somewhere.
I have them in my car somewhere.
Exactly. Everybody's got zip ties somewhere. And the whole point of that video, and the whole point of doing that hack to begin with, is you got to make do with what you got. You know what I mean? You need to get the spring back in the door. It popped out for some reason. You had to change a door bushing or what have you. And you need to get a new one in. You don't have the right tool. It's a weekend. You're trying to get what you need to get done. And
Aha.
what do you have around to be able to get this door spring back in the door? And so I'm like, my next comment was he goes, because he was like, what was the point of it? I said, A, you don't have the tool. The local store doesn't carry them because up until, and even for now, the closest Harbor Freight to me is an hour away. Closest Harbor Freight is at least an hour in any one direction. Whether I go up to Wilkes-Barre, I go out to Allentown, or down to Reading, because I live in PA. So the closest one is at least an hour away. And when you're in the middle of trying to get a project done, having to stop and travel to go get a tool or to go get a part sucks. So I said, A, you don't have the tool. Your local store doesn't carry them. And I don't know any backyard tinkerer that doesn't have a crap ton of zip ties laying around. This hack isn't for the guy who has access to every tool. This is for the guy making do with what he has. Which is exactly, what most of my
videos are?
Yeah, that's what most of my videos are. We have Kip in the chat. Welcome. Oh, that's right. You moved. You're down in Arkansas. Arkansas. I butchered that to hell. I know. I did it on purpose. But anyway, so like I said, this video is for the people that are trying to make do with what they got. You don't have the right tool. You can't get the right tool right away or at all. Well, today's day and age, you can normally get it online, but do I want to wait?
Still gotta wait.
Yeah, do I want to wait? I'm in the middle of trying to get my project done. I don't want to wait a couple days because, if it's like me, I only have, like say you only have the weekend to get something done. Well, that means you got to stop and you got to wait till next weekend or the weekend after that to be able to finish what you were doing. That's why I hate online shopping. I miss when you could run down to your local parts store and go grab anything you need and be able to get home with it and finish your project. Now, unless you're doing like a basic freaking oil change or, have the latest vehicle, most likely you're waiting for parts. Even brakes.
Or it's a common vehicle.
Well, yeah, but like even brakes. I couldn't go down to the local parts store and go pick up the brakes for the Kia. The brake pads, sure, but if I needed like the brake rotor, forget it. They don't carry it. They got to have it shipped in from the warehouse. I remember when every store had the first maybe 10 to 15% of the store was customer, and then the whole 40 feet back was all racks of parts. Now it's the other way around. Now most of the stores racks is consumer available products, and only maybe 10 or 15% of the store is for stocked parts. I mean, you've had to have been to a Pet Boys or a Advanced Auto or AutoZone recently, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look, most of the store is set up like a shopping center. Only a very small portion of the store is set up to warehouse, stocked parts. When I was a kid, that's not how when you walked into a parts store, you had this little you had a counter. Right as soon as you walked in the door, you had no shelves, no nothing. You had this counter, and the whole rest of the store was just racks and racks and racks of parts. Everything you can think of was there. They don't have that shit no more, and it's stupid. Because that's
they're trying to get everything to digital anyway.
But that's not the point. The point is if I don't have the parts on hand to be able to finish my job, I can't complete the job. And weekend, if you're a weekend warrior mechanic, okay, and you need to go fix your car, you need a part because you didn't realize you need this part. You go run to the parts store. You used to be able to just go get it because they would have just about anything you can think of in stock.
That's the one thing I hate about the fucking Suzuki is they have nothing that's actually in fucking stock for that car. Whereas the fucking Mustang,
Oh,
there's
that's
a
standard
50-50
Ford.
chance. Yeah, it's 50-50
I'm
chance
trying
that they're
to
gonna have shit
keep
at
my
the actual store.
keep up with the conversation. This one over here,
That is
Cletus,
another
over here.
reason I bought that one, but it needs some work before I can really drive it,
All right. Kip
like
says he's
brakes
in.
and floor pan.
Yeah. Kip says he's in Tennessee. Now, floor pans and stuff like that, I can understand them not carrying them in stock. But your basic tune-up
Well,
stuff,
another thing is I know a guy that has a parts car that I'm gonna
that's
probably
your
see
best
if I
bet.
can
Your
get the
best
floor
bet is
pan
to
off of.
find an original part because finding a repopped part, you don't have the body skills enough, I would say, to be able to modify that part to make it fit. Because 90% of them don't fit right out of the box.
Yeah, that's why because mine's a 97 and his is an 04, but it's still basically the same fucking
Yeah, all the way
thing.
from 90, yeah,
I think
94
it's
all the way up to
94.
2004. I have almost the same tub. The outside changed a little
Yeah.
bit. But anyway, so
Yeah, it's just cosmetic shit.
yeah, Kip says he's in Tennessee. He's taking a CDL. Well, good luck with that. Cletus says 20 minutes away from LR. I don't know what LR. I guess it's somewhere close by where Kip is at. Hank, the main man, how's it going? Welcome to see you back again. I actually recognize you this time. Used to be service manager at Freightliner. That's right there. Okay. Dog it right. They're just chatting amongst themselves, it looks like. Okay. But anyway, so he goes on and he's like, no offense, but the tool is at every Harbor Freight and AutoZone, and of course my phone just decides to go to sleep, is at every Harbor Freight and AutoZone advanced auto parts. Not trying to argue with me, man, but just go out and go get the tool. If not, then order it and get it same day or 1 day delivery. I'd like to know where they get same day delivery. There's no same day delivery here. Even Amazon,
Yeah,
if you
good
have it
fucking
Amazon,
luck.
well, even if you have Amazon Prime, I'm out in the middle of the fucking sticks. There's might be 1 day. There might be overnight next day. But there is no same day shipping anywhere.
I didn't even know that existed, so.
Yeah, there's some places you can get same day delivery. As long as you order it before a certain time and during the day. Even up North Michigan, which is extremely wooded and rural, the stores that carry everything you need. Yeah, but like I said, that's not the point. The point is when I learned how to do this stuff didn't exist. You know, you ordered something online, you were waiting a week or two for it to show up. And number two, even out here, I can't tell you how many times I've gone to do stuff on my Trans Am or Nova and had to stop doing because I had to wait for a part to come in. And I work all week. So that meant that weekend was screwed. There was no more work getting done unless I found something else to do.
Why do you think I haven't fucked with the clutch on the Suzuki yet? Because if it's not just the clutch and there's something else I need, guess what? I gotta wait, and that's my primary transportation.
And then your daily driver's apart and not available to go. I can't tell you how many times, like back when I used to daily drive the Nova, I started work at 3 p.m. I would do stuff in the morning, and then normally would have the car back together. Mostly body work I was doing at that point, but sometimes it was mechanical. But most of the time when it was mechanical, I would save it for the weekend that I'd have 2 or 3 days to be able to get it done. Like I swapped trans and stuff like that in the weekend when I needed that to be done. But the thing is not everybody has access to the tool, and sometimes not everybody has a whole crap ton of money. Normally, people have zip ties laying around. You don't have to worry about that. But you don't always have money to go get the correct tool. And a lot of mechanics out there that don't, granted, today's day and age, we have mechanics that live off of the Snap-on truck and Mack truck. We do. But some of the really good mechanics, especially the older ones, if you didn't have the right tool, you made it.
You improvise.
You improvised. You made it. I have wrenches in my collection that were cut and welded back together to be able to fit in a certain area. I can guarantee you, I know several people. The prime example, it's just a 6. His buddy that he has that he just brought onto the channel not long ago, the guy with the beard and all of that.
Doug.
Yeah, Doug. Did you see him? Did you see the latest videos with the Viper?
Mm-hmm.
The one where they were doing the heads on the Viper?
I believe so, yeah.
Did you notice his tool for removing the valve keepers? That's a homemade tool. You could go out and go buy a pneumatic one, an air-powered one, for, I don't know, not too much. But the thing is I guarantee you that homemade tool cost them a hell of a lot less. And then you also have the pride of the fact that you made that. And it works.
Yeah.
It just freaking did valve seals on a freaking, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 Viper. And you didn't have to go out and go buy some freaking tool. Yeah, you make it. You make it work. I've done springs, like car springs, like the big fat ones. Ratchet straps. You do what you got to do. If you don't have the correct tool, you make it work. It's whatever gets the job done. Oh, Cletus sold the C1500. Wow. Did you sell it because it was a good thing? I hope. Oh, okay. He didn't basically make bank on it. Hey, Pilot's in here. Trying to buy vehicles that need less work from now on, even if I have to pay a little more. Did make some pretty good content. Yeah, and the thing is when you're making content on YouTube and working on vehicles, it's not necessarily you getting the money cash right back out. You're also looking at, is this video going to make me money back in ad revenue? That's why like Goon Squad and them can buy those cars that they do. Because no, they're probably not going to get their money back by selling that vehicle outright. Where they're making their money is in what the videos make on YouTube. But yeah, I mean, you do what you got to do, whatever works for you. I mean, that's the way how that works. But yeah, I mean, that's even like that. Do you realize that zip tie video? Okay, it cost me 3 zip ties and probably about 10 or 15 minutes of my time, including editing it, because that one was a really easy edit. I didn't do anything fancy. And I was actually requested to make that video. Somebody wanted to know how I did it. I was talking about it on a Facebook post somewhere, and somebody asked me how I did it, and I was like, all right, well, I'll just throw a video together real quick and throw it up there. Just like the windshield wiper arm video I did. That's the same thing. Somebody asked me how to do it, so I just made a video of it and put it up. I never expected that video to make a lot of views. It has over 120,000 views for a video with 3 zip ties. And I have videos out there that have cost me hundreds of dollars to make because of parts and stuff, and they make almost no money. They get like no views. Did you crack out there, Jonathan?
You
just haven't said anything in like the last 5 minutes.
There wasn't anything to say.
Oh, I thought you would respond to what I'm saying. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, I was just like, so I told him, I was like, I said, I made this video over 2 years. It cost me 3 zip ties and 10 minutes of my time. It has over 120,000 views, and nobody says I don't own the tool or know how to do it right. Wasn't the point of the video. I learned to do this when I was a kid. Harbor Freight didn't exist. The tool that was a specialty tool, not available everywhere. Obviously, this video is worth making in views alone. At the time I made this video, I had like 300 subs. What I don't get is, why does this bother him? And it was really
people
like,
get butthurt about everything.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this has nothing to do. If you don't like the video, you don't like the video. I don't really care. But that video has helped somebody somewhere because it's in the comments where people said, "Oh my God, this worked! I did it!" Thank you. It saved me from having to go find this tool somewhere, such and such. Especially when you only need it for like one time. There is no point in running out and going and buying a tool to use once, unless it is the only way to get the job done. You know what I mean? There's no point. I have made so many homemade tools. A lot of the tools that I used for the transmission for the truck were homemade. The ones that I used to compress the one spring pack, it was a piece of wood and a bolt and a nut. 2 pieces of wood, a bolt and a nut. That's what it was. So you put the clutch packet between the two pieces of wood, and the two pieces of wood touched in a certain area, and then you crank down the bolt, and it would compress it, and you take the clip out, and then unthread the bolt, and boom, there you go. That tool would have cost me like $60 to $70 to buy new, and I made it with scrap I had sitting in the house. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that? Why would you spend that much money or whatever for something that you're going to use once? The other thing that I did for the overdrive pack, that was simple. That was I used 3 bolts and a washer and welded them all together, and then that was my my tool to compress to get that clip out. Again, stuff I had laying around, not something I had to go and buy. And that one was $90 for that tool. So, I mean, I don't understand why people have to bitch when somebody makes something instead of goes out or finds an alternative way to get the same task done instead of going out and buying some freaking premium freaking tool that you're only going to use a couple times. You know, if it's something that you need for your job day in and day out, you are a Mercedes tech, okay, and this is something that you do every day, and this tool is going to help speed up what you're doing. You know, you can justify why spending the money for the tool. That's one thing. But if it is something like you're working on a vehicle, you may never need the tool ever again. You know, why go out? I mean, that's just like, hey, we're gonna have a beer in here with us. Pilot says he's outside on the porch having a beer. But anyway, so, you know, if I've lost my train of thought.
That's not no.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not going to make you more money, there's no point in spending the money. If you can get the same task done without having to buy the tool, then do it. I don't see the point in, you know, everybody, go get the tool. Sometimes you don't need to get the tool. The tool's there for the professionals that do the job day in and day out. You know, by the time I would have spent going to buy the tool, spending the money for the tool, and coming back, I could have had it done. And would have cost me nothing. And that's the point. Yeah, see, you're inside having a beer. I'm not having a beer yet. That's in a minute. Maybe if I can find my bottle opener.
If you can't find one, go use a door hinge.
Right?
Like a car door hinge.
What's that thing I was just talking about? You know, finding the right tool? Or if you don't have the tool?
I
have the tool sitting here somewhere. I just don't know where.
I've used my fucking door hinge like multiple fucking times.
Well, I'm not outside. I'm inside, and I don't have anything actually here that I would want to put on. I
mean, shit, I used a bed frame before.
I don't have a bed frame here either.
Well, I guess you shit out of luck, huh?
Right? Well, find something. There's a stapler. Oh. But anyway, it's hot inside. Beer is much better. I had to turn off the. It'll get hot in here in a little bit. I had to turn off the AC to be able to do my live stream because otherwise it's too loud because it's like right here. It gets too loud, and then you can hear it over top of the live stream. Yeah, Biggie and Chris should be here at some point. They said they were going to be late.
At some point.
Yeah, at some point. I'm used to that.
Yeah, start my new job tomorrow.
Oh, where are you starting now? I thought you were working at the docks.
The what?
I thought you were working on the docks.
No, I was.
Go ahead.
The last job I had was a traffic controlling place, and they were fucking a shit show.
No, I didn't even know about that one.
Yeah, that's the last one I had. but it's a warehouse up in Frostburg.
Oh.
So basically similar to the shit I did at Macy's last year. So.
I don't know, you gotta have money for the spend on that Mustang, man.
Mm-hmm.
What's your plans with that thing
The only
anyway?
problem, get it to where I can drive it first. Well, I mean, I can drive it. I just might fall through the floor at any given second.
So not much different than my
Kind of
cars.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the passenger side is worse than the driver's. So, but also since it's a convertible, the floor is kind of structural, a little more than.
Well,
a little more
maybe
than.
I think more of the structure in
hardtop.
the more of the structure of that vehicle is more in the sides than necessarily in the floor. At least not the what floor pan is it? The front, like the front kick panels where your feet go.
It's basically the entire fucking floor.
Oh wow! So you need a full floor pan. Oh, have fun with that, and I hope you got to make sure that that thing is nice and straight before you weld that new floor pan, and then you better take a shit ton of cross measurements and make sure everything's set, and then once you have it set, you weld in your cross bracing so it doesn't move when you cut the floor out. Yeah, you're gonna have fun with that. It's part of the reason why my Nova got a new body instead of me trying to fix the body that was on it.
That's honestly what I'm kind of thinking about doing, just waiting, saving up for another vehicle. Yeah.
That's shit you need to look at before you buy a vehicle.
Well, I thought the floors were fine because Brad said they were fine.
That's your number two lesson? That's your number two lesson? Don't ever believe somebody else's word.
Shut the fuck up for a second.
Go ahead.
Because the guy we were buying it off of was somebody he knew. If it would have been me buying it, it would have been a lot more expensive.
Right.
So I didn't want to go looking too much and then make it look fishy.
No, unfortunately, you learn your lesson, and if somebody's going to make a deal about it, then you walk away, because obviously you realize that you probably should have walked away.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But yeah, you never ever trust somebody else's word, because they're not the one putting the money down. And I had that same problem when I bought the original V8 for the Nova. When I did the V8 swap, I went from the inline six to the V8. I trusted my buddy who said that he knew this guy and he was legit and this is what he was selling. I was told that it was a 350 and it was just rebuilt. That's what I was told. And I believed them. We went and because the kid apparently rebuilt it for a school project. So I took it. I took it off the truck. We spray painted it. I took the valve covers off in the oil pan. It had new valve cover seals and it had new oil pan seal. Okay, so figured it was legit. I didn't crack the heads or pull off a main cap or anything. Just it looked clean. It looked rebuilt. From a distance. Without cracking it open completely. And I threw it in the car. Well, it was a couple months down the road before we actually got the car up and running because I was also in the middle of moving. Well, I ended up having to move right after we started the project. And by the time I got it running, it was knocking like a son of a bitch. So I ended up having to pull the bottom pan out, and I pulled the fuel pump rod was bad. That was knocking. The oil pump shaft that goes from the oil pump up to the distributor, that was bad. So I fixed both of those. Thought that was what my knocking issue was. Put it back together, fired it up, still knocked. So when I went and checked the bottom end, pulled the cap off, it was showing copper all the way around the bearing. There was almost no bearing left. And at this point, the car had not run very long. Maybe fired it up, heard it knocking, shut it off. Like that. It was not let me run it and race it up and down the streets and whatever. So I barely had maybe 30 minutes of runtime on this engine since we put it in. There's no way it wiped the bearings out like that. This thing already had wiped bearings when I bought it. So we ended up getting bearings for it. I replaced all of the bearings while the engine was in the car. So, I mean, that means jacking up the engine, pulling the pan off, and pulling all of those bearings out while having to deal with the giant crossmember that's in your way. Because I don't know if you know, these old Novas, they had a huge crossmember that went in between the two wheels that ran underneath the engine. Right in the middle of where you need to do all this work for the engine. So you literally have like this much room from where the cross member is to where all of these connecting rods and main caps are. And I was doing this on a large gravel driveway. Not large as in long, but large as in the rocks were like this big around. And not smooth. You know, they were just broken rock, you know? So, I mean, you think about it, the small gravel and how sharp those are. Can you imagine how sharp the big ones are?
Yeah, fuck all that.
Right. So I ended up having to replace all of the main bearings and the connecting rod bearings while it was in the car, and did all of that, and ended up throwing it back together, and that's how it ever. Then it was another like year or so later. I had also thrown an Edelbrock carb on there that was for a 350. So it was a 650 Edelbrock, a 650 CFM Edelbrock carburetor. Should have done just fine on a 350. And I couldn't figure out why I could never get this thing to tune right. Why it always ran rich, it never ran right, and I could never figure it out. So eventually I was like, you know what? Let me check the numbers on the block. And it turns out that this was not a 350. It was a 305. So not only did I not have a 350, I mean, not only was the engine not rebuilt and all of the bearings garbage, it was also not a 350. And yeah, I paid like $300 for this engine when I got it. Ended up having to do a complete rebuild on it, and only to find out that it wasn't a 350 anyway. That's when I went and yanked it. It is now my coffee table. It is now a coffee table, and I went out and bought an actual 350. Checked the numbers there at the spot. I made sure that it was a 350 before I paid for it. But again, lesson learned: don't ever trust your friends. Oh, it's a good deal. I know him. You know, don't ever trust that. You know,
it doesn't mean nothing.
Yeah, do your research. Make sure you're buying is what you want to buy, and you know, because at the end of the day, it's your money that's getting put down. You can ask a friend for advice, but you make sure that he shows you why he's giving you this advice. Like I've had people that were body men that come over to come check out a vehicle because I wasn't a body guy. Mm-hmm. You know. But I didn't just say, all right, go check the car out and give me your word. No. You show me, you know, this is why this is bad or whatever. You know, you show me why. That way I know what I'm buying and what I'm getting into. Pilot, a 350 and a 305 are basically the same thing. They have a different bore stroke. Most of the time, the cranks are basically the same. Like I said, when I went and bought parts for it, the timing chain said it's going to be the same. It's the same distance from the cam to the crank. The bottom end bearing set, if the crank is the same, I didn't necessarily buy it for a 350. Small block Chevys are basically the same in the bottom end. It's the length of the connecting rod and it's the width of the piston. That's different. But, you know, it's what I was buying, those parts wouldn't have been different. Now, if I would have went to go get rings for a 350, I would have definitely found out that wasn't a 350 because as soon as I went to measure the bore, I would have known. But like I said, I didn't tear the engine apart there. What I tore apart was the bottom end. I tore the bearings out of it. I put a timing set on it because the timing chain was loose. So I didn't have the internal parts of the engine apart. I didn't pull the pistons out. I didn't take the heads off of it. You know, because, yeah, although it had all new gaskets on it already, they didn't rebuild it. They just put a gasket kit on it. I'm guessing what the kid did is he picked up the engine and threw a gasket kit on it to pass his whatever.
Yeah.
They didn't send it to a machine shop. They didn't actually put any money into it because the timing chain wasn't new. The timing chain had too much slack in it. All the bearings were shot in it. You know, so obviously, you know, they didn't actually do a rebuild. And that's,
nice entrance there.
I know, just freaking blow it out your ass.
What can I say? I didn't want to collect any antlers on the front of the grill. I got too far to go.
Right.
There's like 4 of them standing right there on the edge of the road. So I was like, you know, blow them away like shoe flies.
You mean you didn't want a nice rack on your way?
No, I wouldn't mind the rack on the wall, but that other bloody mess you got to contend with, and you know, there's not much out there but plastic. It's
it's not an old Peterbilt. New one, huh? Well, even the old ones, they were fiber. The old ones, weren't they fiberglass, or were they actually all metal?
The 379's a rivet aluminum. It's the last truck that was all metal. Everything else after that was fiberglass or composite
most of them I've
plastic.
seen are fiberglass.
And the Peterbilt 377, it looks identical to the 379, but it's got an all plastic hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, plastic fiberglass hood. Where the 379 was actually still a hand-formed riveted aluminum. Look, you little sons of bitch, we're gonna do this all night long. You guys are gonna use this. Say yes, bye, Bambi. It's a long spot. The only thing I can think of, I'm watching the greatest gambling table in Vegas every time you scare one of them fawns. Because I'll tell you what,
when
they jump and shake their ass, when they shake their ass and move, those spots are bouncing just like a set of dice across the table in Vegas. Right. It's hilarious. What's up, everybody?
Ceiling.
Yeah, pretty much.
On the ceiling? Damn! It's got to be more excitement than that going on.
I mean, Sean's telling us how he got fucked over with a 350 that ended up being a 305.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had fun with that.
I bet he did.
I must say he made one hell of a table on one of those.
Yes, I did.
So,
it was
all good.
It was the 305 that was disguised. That was the 305 that was disguised as the 350. That's what I made as the engine table, an end table. I'm like, fuck it, I got it sitting here. Might as well freaking do it. Everybody thought it was nuts when I went to go do it because I saw like they seem like Ferrari engines and Lamborghini engines that are done that way. And I'm like, you know what? I have an engine block sitting right here, and it's just it's pissing me off. It's time to freaking do something with it. But yeah, I did make a pretty cool table out of that.
$300 end table.
Well, it ended up costing me more than $300 by the time it became an end table.
Well, yeah.
It was $300 to buy it to begin with, not the time, money, effort, frustration, curse words, blood, sweat, all that shit that went into it before it ever even came out of the car to become an end table.
Come on now, admit it. The curse words were actually free and did have a perfect theme in the whole situation.
Yeah.
Simply because you got to invent some new ones or some very colorful phrases with the ones that already were there.
Right?
Existed.
That's usually how it goes.
I could never work in the garage with my dad. It'd be bad enough if the wrench would slip, he'd bust a knuckle or smash a thumb. He'd do something, start off on a sailor trip, and I'd start rolling across the floor laughing my ass off. Listening to his curse was, it was funnier than hell, but he thought I was laughing because he heard himself, so he'd throw me out of the garage and go, go help your goddamn mother. I was like, hey, Dad, I'm not laughing at you. What happened? I'm laughing at the way you reacted to it. It's hilarious.
Right? I found it.
As a little kid, how do you explain that?
I don't know how you can.
You just don't argue and you walk away.
I suppose you find that funny. Your dad is funny, but it's the way you're talking, not because you hurt yourself. I hate you hurt yourself.
Can you imagine?
Say that again. It's hilarious.
Can you imagine that if as a kid, like, your ears automatically censored curse words until you were 18 or whatever, and you heard, like, have you ever seen an episode of Spongebob where he was cursing and they were using dolphin sounds?
Yeah.
Can you imagine that if you were like out in public and an adult cursed, that's what you heard?
My God.
Can you imagine if what you heard was an actual censorship?
Like, one thing I find funny is like, they're like, oh, don't cuss around kids and all this. I'm like, well, they're gonna fucking hear it eventually.
They're gonna hear it anyway.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I grew up, and this my mom.
A Facebook argument with that. I posted a meme or something. I mean, I had something.
Oh,
yeah, it was mild compared to ones that are out there. But I posted on my buddy's timeline, and this woman jumped down my throat. He's got grandkids. He's this. I'm like, God, what are you, a sailor's wife? Man, you got a good ring on it. Who the hell are you?
Right.
And I'm back there. She said, and I'm like, hey, Frank, I just come out and says, lady, if you think for one instant that what I just posted is worse than anything that his grandkids are learning in school, either from what they're teaching them or what they're learning from their friends or finding themselves on the internet, you are sadly asleep and not awake with the world, and really need to wake up and smell the coffee can before you brew your first cup, because you're missing the whole thing.
Right.
Go look at a video game once, or go watch some of these so-called PG movies and see what they got in them now.
Or just hang out with your friends. Somebody's going to, and I would rather them hear me say something that they're not supposed to, and me tell them that, hey, we are adults. Yes, adults use this language, and no, it's not okay for you to use this language until like my mom told me when I was growing up, because my mom, partied and all that fun stuff, but she was a good mom, but she had this thing, do as I say, not as I do.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're adults, you're not. You can do things that you want to do when you're older and you realize what you're doing. And
you know what really sucks about that?
What?
When your kids come back with an argument, but you said it's adult English. Okay, it's adult English. Okay, so what's your problem? You don't want me using that. No, you're not allowed to use that. That's adult language. Okay, if it's adult language and I'm not allowed to use it, then how come it's in my kids' dictionary that we use in school?
What one is
that? Websters. Some of your cuss words are actually in Websters. Yeah, but they come back with that. Well, if I'm not allowed to use language like that, then how come we're learning about it in school and I can find it in my dictionary? And it's like, try to come up with some of the arguments that a kid can come up with.
Sometimes.
And it's like, and then that's like you said, your mom. This is the moment where don't, do as I say, not as I do, and that's the end of the argument or discussion or whatever you want to call it.
Pretty much. No, I realized I don't have any. Let's see. What banner should I throw up there? Here we go. We'll just go with this one. There we go. But anyway, we've had all those arguments. But like I said, my mom said that, do as I say, not as I do. And the other thing is she was also very open about, like when she's made a mistake or done something that she's regret, it's not, oh, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. It's, hey, this is why I'm telling you not to do this, because I went through it. I made this mistake, and this is how I had to pay for it. My mom was pregnant at 17 years old. That was me. She ended up having to move out and start her own freaking life at 17 years old.
Damn.
Know what that feels like.
She basically had to go out, live on her own, 17 years old, had a kid with somebody that, she didn't super know at the time. They ended up getting married, and it ended up screwing her life up from there forward. That's my dad. My dad's a fuck up and doesn't deserve to be a free man, but he is. But
in contrary, having been there where she was, when that conversation comes around and comes back, and your significant other says, honey, guess what? I went to the doctor. Yeah, okay, what's that? We're pregnant. Keyword. Been there, done that. Don't do this, gentlemen, and ain't had no kids yet. Do not look at your significant other and say, well, you might be pregnant, but I'm losing weight because I can see I got to get a hell of a good job. That losing, they hear everything about losing weight. And the rest of it's out the window. Forget about it. Doesn't matter what the phrase was. All you hear is, I'm losing weight and you're going to be a fat ass cow. That's all they hear. Yeah, that's all they hear. And that's not what I said. That's what I heard. How did you hear that? That's not what I said. Yeah, and then it ends up with an argument, a discussion that you just don't want to go down into. It's a non-win situation.
Usually how it goes with women.
Yeah.
A lot of times. And then you find that one amazing one, like Sean has and I have, that just everything you thought was, well, this is just the way they are and that's the way it's going to be, and there's no hope for me to think otherwise. And then you find one that just shoots every one of those balloons out of the sky and is the exact opposite of everything that you thought was normal or abnormal or the way it was going to be. And then you're left scratching your head. Now, how the hell did this happen? Or
when you've had several bad ones in a row, and then you find that one that is right, it's like, whoa, this is what I was supposed to be having.
This is scary. I don't want to lose this, but this is scary. Someone hand me the duct tape now, so I don't say something and screw it up.
Right. Pilot, we went through this before. He says you can't have an argument if you're naked. Fuck yes, you can.
Want to bet?
I have had some pretty nasty arguments while we were both naked. And they didn't end in a happy ending.
Did they always play that cue card where it's like they'd point there and say, buddy, if you want some of this tonight, you better change that attitude because you ain't getting nothing.
My ex didn't do that. No, she would just start flipping out while we were naked.
Oh, you lucked out then.
No, she was psychotic. So, yeah, it didn't matter whether she had clothes on or not. She didn't just become uncrazy because she took her clothes off.
Well, I didn't say uncrazy.
Yeah, but she didn't sit here and say, you're not getting this if you don't... No, because the problem is she wanted it. So she never threatened that I wasn't getting it. It was just a matter of was she crazy enough for me to freaking walk out.
And trust us, there is that point you reach where it's like, you know what, the hell with this, I'm out of here.
I don't know if Cletus is bored.
Continuation of the argument. Where did you go? Don't worry about it. My buddy in Texas he had that argument once with his wife, and he still plays this to this day. She'll nag about something, but he'll get a phone call. And the one night, she tried that kind of stuff. She says, okay. So he turned left. He went to the bar for 8 hours. We shooting pool with a couple of buddies from work, and then he come home.
Better than going home and dealing with the freaking ex that's flipping out, or the car that will soon be an ex.
So she started the same shit with phone calls. And he got a phone call one time. And she's all ears in the truck. He muted the radio and got all done. Stuck his phone back in his pocket, turned the radio back on, kept in. She finally was like, okay, so who was that? Who was who? On the phone. Huh? Who was on the phone? Who called you? Oh, don't worry about it. That's number 2. You haven't met her yet, but someday I'll bring her over to show you how to do housework.
Cletus is so bored, he's freaking phone texting on his own. The phone's texting without him. He goes, shit, sorry, I was making a drink and put my phone in my pocket for a minute. The phone was like, don't you freaking ignore me. I'm over here sitting bored. I'll just freaking text for you then. You know what? Wait. You know what? Let me call that hot girl from the other night. We'll just butt dial her.
Oh, boy.
Come on, you can't tell me you've never butt dialed. Well, it was easier to do before they had the touch screens. It used to be super easier when everything was buttons. And, you would accidentally freaking call somebody while your phone was in your back pocket, and I had somebody call me back and said, what the hell were you doing for 10 minutes at freaking 12:30 in the afternoon? It sounded like, sorry. But, yeah, that used to be now they have the things where it knows when it's in your pocket and will shut off the touch screen. Like, I have that setting on my phone. It has a like proximity sensor that if it thinks that it's in its pocket or something, you have to do something to be able to unlock it. The wife probably wouldn't like that, or maybe she
sometimes that's a much needed feature. And don't trust talk to text.
Nope.
That shit'll get you in trouble.
I only use that when
I've been there. I sent.
It makes you say things you didn't Nintendo.
Yeah, I sent something back to my buddy one time, and he called me. It's like, what are you trying to tell me? I said, what are you talking about? I said, I told you I'd see you later. I said, no, you didn't. What the hell I didn't? Yes, I did. Yeah, well, I went and looked what's. Yeah, well, I tried to say I'll talk to you later. Well, that's not what it sent him. We won't repeat what it said, but he said, well, the fact I hadn't known you for 15 years, we went racing together and run races and hunted and everything else. I'd be very, very suspicious about you right now with what you say. Because you know me better than that. Yeah, I may know you better than that, you little ass, but you know what? I got one on you now. Just go ahead and play that cue card. Sometimes you better delete that shit out of your phone and forget it ever happened.
The internet's full of those ones where you have people that were using speech to text or just misspelled something or autocorrect and makes a sentence that was completely different than what you intended it to be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let's just say the one I said was very suggestive in different avenues of life, not ours.
Right.
And that ain't what I was saying at all. I kind of figured that, but I got one on you. So just remember, you used that card one time, and remember, I know where you live. I may not be home. Well, you know what? Don't worry about it. I know where you live, and depending on how ripped I get about it, when you do come home may not be there to welcome you.
The other one that always gets me, though, is like, like you have multiple apps open on your phone, and like, say, like Facebook or whatever, Facebook Messenger does that, like, pop over top thing, where you could type in real quick and it would go away. When you think that you're typing in the right bubble, but it sends it to the conversation that was below that one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it sends something you didn't want to send to the wrong person.
Especially in text messaging.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They've been there, done that. I sent a very suggestive text to the boss's wife one morning that I was trying to... I was trying to reply to one that I got. Unbeknownst to me, it was still stuck on the other side. I'm just like, I got a phone call. I don't believe that was meant for me. Huh? What? What are you talking about? I looked at the phone. No shit. No, that wasn't meant for you. You're right. Because I was trying to reply to another conversation that popped up. I didn't realize we were still stuck on your screen. Sorry about that. Yeah.
No, I'm not meeting you in 20 minutes for some hot...
It was real racy. I mean, she shared to the point he calls like, I guess you're buying dinner for one night sometime. I said, what's that? Says, Carrie sent what you sent to her. Oh, fuck. It's like, yeah, well, hey, what can I say? I was trying to reply to something else, and I was just talking to her about an issue we had in the paperwork, and whatever. I said, yeah, well, like I said, I guess you'll buy us dinner sometime. I said, yeah, no big deal. If that'll make you all forget about it and it goes away, I'll buy you a damn dinner. Big deal. But it's like, yeah, so and especially if your phone's been in your pocket, decides to pocket dial, pocket text, or pocket type, or whatever this goddamn touchscreen bullshit that they do nowadays.
All right.
Yeah, or ad calls when you're already in a call and then you're going in somewhere and next thing you know you got 3 or 4 people in the conversation with you. It's like, how the hell did y'all get in here?
It's a phone orgy. But all right, let's go to our first segment of the day while we got everybody in here. We got up to 8 people. Only 5 likes, 8 people. What the hell? Anyway, what's in the cup? We'll start with Jade. Jonathan, what you got in the cup?
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Oh. All right. Well, we'll go down to just below you. Big E, what you got in your cup tonight?
I have my, usual Walmart.
No, it's not a big old cup. You need to put duct tape over that.
I need to sand it up is what I need.
No. Do you know what you do? You take some red paint Okay, and you make a big no sign and you put it right over top of the Walmart logo.
Oh my god.
Perfect.
Just no.
Just no.
He needs one of those. He needs one of those 86-ounce big gulps that Cheech used to sell.
Yeah.
They had the big rubber foot on the bottom so it wouldn't tip over.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah, but those don't fit in cup holders.
Shh.
Anyway, so yeah, and we'll get poor Big E, man. He went put through the ringer because some bosses didn't like him.
Yeah.
All right, so shall we go with you, Chris? What's in the cup, Chris?
Well, let's see. Do you want it by numbers? Or do you want it by letters?
I don't know. Whatever way you want to go. Because we know you got you got a whole cooler next to you.
Oh, I got a smorgasbord. I ain't got a cooler. I got the refrigerator.
You can
back,
have a different sip for every mile, huh?
Let's start with the 6 green ones back there in the refrigerator that I ain't been able to touch for 2 weeks.
No, those don't count. They're back in the freezer. You can't touch them. They're in the freezer.
Yeah, I can't touch them. We'll let people figure out what that is. Maybe you can have a good bonus thing because it's something I don't normally get.
I'm gonna guess it's a green bottle.
We have the insulated glass of sweet tea, our usual glacial vitamin water that we always have, a couple bottles of regular water, a cup of Columbia's Best coffee in that cup, and the cup down in the door has a hot cup of dark roast. Who the hell made it? Sumatra.
Okay.
Coffee. And that about covers it.
I got a question.
For the moment.
Do you have like a catheter or something? Like, how do you make it to the next freaking pit stop with all those liquids? Your bladder must be the size of one of those 5-gallon drums you put on top of the water cooler.
You've seen me. I look like I'm a fat ass truck driver. It's not because I'm fat from overeating. I've got an overextended, expanded bladder that'll hold enough that I can float a life raft in for the 100 miles it takes to get to the next pissing station.
Drop you off a couple goldfish in that shit.
No, usually where I run now, I ain't got to worry about it because they're usually about every 60 to 70 miles I run across somewhere if I have to utilize somewhere. But
well, and the thing is,
driving,
you know what?
Driving one of these, you learn to extend your I have to go capabilities.
Yeah, because we've done these live streams now for 2-3 years. I don't think I've ever seen you have to stop and do a pit stop, and we normally go for 2 to 3 hours on here.
Yeah, I mean, if you once you've driven long enough, you get to the point, even though you're drinking a lot, you can usually extend it for about 4 hours.
We got a caddy,
and then it's time to pull over.
Yeah. We got a caddy update from Pilot. Said he waxed the caddy last week, put it out in the garage, went out the next day. Must have had a bird in the garage because it was shit everywhere.
Oh my god.
Oh, that would suck.
I usually gotta love when you don't think about it and you park underneath of like one of those junctions for power wires. Like it's bad enough when you park next to the street and they have the power lines that run across the next to the street. The bad one is when you park next to the pole and it's the pole that has all of the junctions for all of the wires. So there's like 15, 20 wires above your car and it's just like, well, I just parked underneath the birdie porta potty.
Yeah. You remember that show, Final Jeopardy? Well, you just found out, they're up there hitting every square. And said, we got the right answer. No, this is the answer.
Right.
Yeah. Speaking of my racing buddy along that same lines, the last car that we built, which I have now, the Pontiac Super Late Model for the asphalt late model that we run up at Loudon. When we got it done, we had a front clip put on it, whole new body work, got it painted the way we wanted. Was waiting to go to lettering, shoved it in the garage, good to go. Well, it's in the fall, coming in the fall here, and he always takes off to go archery hunting. Well, that weekend we went and there's an apple warehouse yard or whatever up there where he's at that they'll take, when they start bringing in the fresh apples, what they had left over from last year, they'll sell the bins. You can buy like 20. They'll come out and dump bins in your pickup bed, and you can buy them $25 a truckload.
All right.
So we'd go and buy apples to put out, because they're allowed to bait up there where he lives at. So we'd buy a truckload of apples and bring them back and dump them in he'd buy 50-pound bags of corn and put them in the corn feeder he had all year long for the turkeys and the deer when they'd come in by the feeder.
Right.
Well, then we'd have the empty feed bags we'd fill. So we had probably 12 bags of apples that we filled up, 50-pound, because he had a little Dodge Dakota. Stuck them in the garage up in front of the race car. Okay, we're good to go. We'll see you later. He called me 2 weeks later. I hope you're not busy. I mean, he's just, I thought his wife done something. I mean, God, you sound like you're ready to kill somebody. He's like, oh, you know how you talk in that real low Randy, the Macho Man Savage voice? You're so pissed off. You can't. He's like, come bear season, we're going bear hunting. I'm like, oh, cool. I haven't been on a bear hunt, so what's the deal with that? That son of a bitch broke in the barn and ate every one of them apples, and the fucker crawled all over the goddamn car and shit everywhere.
Oh.
He shit in the driver's seat. Well, how the hell did he get in the car? He climbed through the window. What's wrong with that? The son of a bitch ate all the apples, and he was too fucking fat to get back out. There's shit everywhere in the car. We got to tear it apart and redo every little area. I mean, he was living.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
When do you want me to call you back?
Let me know when you got that cleaned up.
Just be ready to go bear hunting. I mean, he was hot. It was bad, and he had to fix the door in the barn because he rented the property. It wasn't even his property, so
Right.
he had to fix the door in the barn. When the dumbass bear finally got out of the car, could move and get out, he didn't go out the open door. The son of a bitch went through the wall on the backside of the barn when he left. So I was like,
Christ.
so I had to fix the damage to the car. After he got the car cleaned out,
Right.
it was like, so did this teach anything? Yeah. We're putting the apples in the basement next year. And my thing's like, the guy never runs out of apples. I mean, why don't we go get them when we're ready to go out, and then put them out when we're going to go hunting, instead of buying them and then storing them. Yes, I didn't think of that.
Of course.
I was like, well, the guy never runs out of apples. It's not going to be a big deal. But I thought honest to God, I thought he'd come home and found his wife cheating on him or something. The way it's going on. Then he sent me pictures like, oh yeah, so when are you gonna have that cleaned up? He was like, why? I said, well, they're sending me back to LA. Hell, I'm not gonna be up here for probably another 6 weeks. That just bloody figures. But yeah, what a mess.
Well, that would be almost what's in the truck. That would be but that would have been what's in the race car. Bear shit.
Shit.
Yeah.
So you know what? We can just hop skippy that right into the next segment. You know what? Nobody in the chat answered what's in their cup. Yeah, that's a thing. You guys in the chat room have to tell us what you're drinking while you're watching the live stream. So we want to hear it, man. What are you guys drinking? Anything interesting? Anything cool?
This form is probably drinking water.
Well,
or energized water.
Hopefully she's still not dealing with that issue she was dealing with last year. I do believe you guys said that she was mostly recovered from that. Cletus is drinking water. There is nothing wrong with water. Oh, Pilot did either. I missed what he said then. Where did he tell us what he was drinking? He had to tell us all the way in the very beginning, and that doesn't count. Now I got to scroll all the way to hell back up there. That's right. He's having a beer. What kind of beer, man? That's not just what kind of beer. You have what kind of beer? Water and cherry limeade. Cherry limeade. I like the if you ever eaten at a Moe's Southwest Grill, they have it wasn't a Moe's Southwest Grill. Do you know what it was? It was a Firehouse Subs. They had the most awesome cherry limeade at the fire with one of those soda machines that you can make just about almost any flavor under the sun. Mm-hmm. They had a Firehouse Subs special flavor with a cherry limeade. It was so freaking good. And they closed all of the Firehouse Subs around me. I used to get their Firehouse Steamer, which was just it was a hot Italian sandwich, I would say. It was really, really freaking good. He's drinking an Ice House. Huh?
One place I've never ate in.
Oh, if you get a chance to go to a Firehouse Subs, they are freaking good. I can compare it to, so I put Moe's Southwest Grill, Firehouse Subs, and Five Guys Burgers and Fries. They're like in their own class of fast food. Like you have regular fast foods, or your McDonald's, your Taco Bell, your those ones. And then you have that like upper tier. They're still fast food, but they don't cook like fast food.
Yeah.
That's Firehouse Subs.
I don't know about Firehouse, but I had a sandwich earlier. I don't know how well that'll show up.
It's not.
But
is it Applebee's?
It's not. No, it's not Applebee's.
Can't see it. It's just all pixelated and whited out from the whatever USD.
Okay, so anyways, it's a Philly cheesesteak from Charlie's Philly Steaks Sandwich Company.
Never heard of it.
The box is 10 inches long by 8 inches wide and 3.5 to 4 inches deep for one sandwich.
And it's nothing beats the ones you get at the frickin' in Philly, man. And I'm not talking.
No.
And if you ever go to Philly, please do not fall for the Geno's and Pat's frickin' tourist trap. Geno's and Pat's is not a Philly cheesesteak. That does not get much better than going to your freezer section and buying a pack of Steakums and Cheese Whiz and throwing it on a bun.
That's exactly what it is.
And they charge you twice as much as an actual Philly cheesesteak place in Philly for shit. If they do not have beef turning on a spit in the back of the frickin' restaurant, it is not a Philly cheesesteak.
And don't forget the sauce.
Well, yeah, I don't normally get sauce on mine, though, but that's just me. This is because I don't like it.
You got it. You got to have just a hint of the Philly sauce they make.
No,
that's the only place you can find it.
And the place that I go, and now there's several places in Philly that you can go that all have good cheesesteaks. You just got to find an actual steak shop, not Geno's or Pat's. Forget them. But the place that I go, I think it's South Street. It is a black and white checkered building. In fact, I used to have it looked up before. But anyway, it's right on South Street, which is the main shopping street in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I would say midway down the street from the one end. And it's a black and white checkered building, and you got the right place because there is a line all the way around the corner on almost any time during mealtime. And their steaks are literally, 12 to 14 inches long and at least 9 inches wide.
Damn.
And they're packed. And they're like $9, $10. Or at least they were when I was living in Philly. It's been a couple years. So we used to travel across, and that was a good distance across the freaking, the city from where I worked. When I worked at the Moe's up there at Ridge Pike and Henry Avenue. We would go all the way over there to go get cheesesteaks. I would send one of the workers to go all the way over there and go pick it up for the whole crew. But yeah, that was our spot.
Miss Formy's had one.
You gotta have a real one. And like I said, if they were not cutting that steak right off of the spit, if you've ever gotten
shave that bitch right onto the bun.
Right. Well, no, they shave it straight down onto they shave it down onto the grill. That's where they cook the onions and everything with it. But yeah, it's just like if you get you could tell a good gyro place from a bad gyro place, because if they don't have that spit with the three meats already combined, sitting there turning, then you're not getting a true gyro, which means you're not getting the right cucumber sauce. It's just not going to be a gyro. There's plenty of places like Arby's has this gyro thing now. It's okay, but what I could call it a gyro, no, it's not a true gyro. Mm-hmm. It's a gyro inspired sandwich. But yeah, Bloomsburg Fair, John the Creek, got to go there if you want a good gyro.
Yep, it's kind of like watching a World of Outlaws race going to something else. It's countlessly imitated but never duplicated.
Yeah. The world of outlaw cars. They're just, you got the quarter midgets and stuff like that, but those full blown freaking, those things are nasty.
410 sprint cars.
Huh?
410 sprint cars.
Yeah, they're just freaking nasty.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like how much engine and freaking shit can I stuff in the smallest fucking platform possible?
Yeah.
410 cubic inches of fuel-injected snarling fury packed inside of a 1,400-pound car.
Right?
Making about 900 to 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah, they're definitely a beast. I used to hang around them when I was younger. Now, Nick Track Shots, he gets to hang out with those, I think.
I got 2 of those.
You got 2 of them?
I don't have that engine in them, but I have 2 of those.
Well, it's the engine's kind of, that's kind of like having a freaking stuffed bear on your floor. It's not the same as having an actual live grizzly. You've taken the fight out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't steer those with the front wheels.
No, that's that right foot. And how much freaking gas you give it depends on which direction it goes.
Yeah, how much blip you give it depends which way it's gonna whip.
Right. And you gotta sit just before the exit of turn 4. And if you sit it perfectly, you can tell because if you sit it perfectly, you're just on the line of fire to where you get the great view, but you don't get pelted in the face.
Yeah, they throw some clods up.
Oh my god, they can hit all the way up to the freaking upper grandstands.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, and the thing is if you're not getting pelted with dirt, you're getting pelted with if the dirt is packed hard enough, you'll still get pelted with rubber.
Damn.
NASCAR, if you went to Dover Downs when NASCAR was really big, you could see if you were within the first 40 rows of a NASCAR track, you would get pelted with rubber as they came around.
Oh, damn.
And you're sitting 300 feet away from the track? No, maybe not 300, maybe 100, 150. Because you have to sit so far back but in case a car comes off the track and happens to get through the freaking catch fence.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, let's see. We're still stuck on Sonic and Firehouse subs in the chat, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah.
Hey, did anybody guess our green bottles yet?
Oh, I told you they were Yingling.
That ain't Yingling.
What?
I can't stand that shit.
Oh, really?
I can't stand that shit. I'll be one of the first to admit I think Yingling sucks.
Okay, well then if you don't like Yingling, I'm gonna guess it's a green bottle.
Heineken?
I'd say
I was
Heineken.
gonna say Heineken.
No, but that's a good one.
What's the one with the horse on it? I forget that.
No
one.
idea.
That one's also.
I'm trying to think of what the hell be a green bottle.
Like I said, it's Yingling is known for the green bottle. Heineken normally has a light green bottle. Mrs. Formley doesn't count because she probably bought it. It's not a Jaeger because that's he's not going to have a 6-pack of Jaeger.
No.
I have Jaeger somewhere, but I have a freaking. Geez, oh my god, that bottle of Jaeger's got to be 10 years old now. But yeah, well yeah, let's see. That was 7 years old back in 2015. So yeah, that's definitely well over 10 years old now. Brian Berger, Yingling all the way. Bex, I think that is Bex the one with the horse on the. What's the one with the fucking horse on the label?
I don't know.
I think that's not what it is, but I think you're right. I think that is the one with the horse on the label.
It's Bex.
I'd give a hint. This one's still a Pennsatucky beer.
I don't know any other ones.
Western part of the state.
Well, yeah, it's where you're not getting me. I'm now looking up the other one.
In fact, a couple people tried to guess what you were drinking one night, thinking that's what it was.
Oh, not pear, beer.
Yeah.
Stupid anymore.
I wish it was Stella. Ugh.
Rolling Rock. That's the one I was thinking of.
There you are.
Is it Rolling Rock?
Yep.
See?
Nice.
Haha, I guessed it. I guessed it like a couple minutes ago. I just didn't know the name of it. See, I knew because I'm a beer snob, so some of the higher end beers I know what they are, but because I don't drink, whatever. And we haven't even guessed what I'm drinking yet. There you go. Guess away. 1,000 points. Whoever guesses it should be an easy one. Points don't matter.
Let me guess. Yingling.
Wrong.
That's a shocker.
Right? Huh. Well, if you know my beer habits, you'll know what I'm drinking. And not because, Yingling is my normal go-to. If you know how I drink. Huh?
I think I know what it is, but I can't fucking remember the name.
Oh, well, that doesn't count.
No shit.
But yeah, if you guys know my beer habits,
it's the fucking expensive one that you get, isn't it?
Guinness.
You mean this?
Yes, that.
It would be black as night if it was this. Guinness is dark.
Is it Angry Orchard?
Yes, it is.
Aha!
See, now, like I said, if you know a case of beer will last me a while. So unless I bought another case of beer to drink something different, a case of beer will last me a while. Especially if I'm not on here because I don't have any friends over. And I don't really drink by myself. Unless I have if I'm having a good steak, I'll grab a beer. But I don't just grab a beer at the end of the night because I feel like it. Mm-hmm. It's just, I don't drink like that. I had an alcoholic as a stepfather, so drinking to me isn't something you do, not necessarily by yourself, but it's not just something I do just because I get home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I drink with friends. I drink, that's why I'm drinking now. I drink with you guys. I'll drink if I have friends over. Shit like that, or if I go out to the bar, I'll drink. But just for shits and giggles, no, don't normally drink. I don't drink necessarily to get drunk. Not to get smashed. To get buzzed, sure. Get smashed, no. Again, don't see the point.
Yeah, fuck all that.
I grew up with, assholes that were drunk all the fucking time, and it's a turn off.
Yeah. You learn early in life, if you're around those type of friends, that you don't drink until you pass out, because bad things happen to you that can really haunt you for the rest of your life, depending on who has the pictures.
The only time I drank like that, and this goes way back. This was back when I was still daily driving the Nova. I was living with a bunch of my friends at the time. They had the place next door. I had my own place, and we were over at their house. And he had one of them big, 15-foot wide trampolines. I was 24? About that time, I was about 24. And we were all horsing around on the freaking trampoline, and they had some freaking kid over there that thought he was all fucking hot shit. And he went to go do a football tackle. So he sprung off of the bottom, he sprung off of the trampoline and went to go get me in that, arms around, knee up, football tackle. He missed my body with his arms. Oh. He caught the base of my spine with his knee.
Oh my God.
So right where your spine meets your pelvis, he caught me right square in the bottom of that, in that, what is that, the 2-3 or 3-4 vertebrae?
Yeah.
Caught me right square, and this wasn't a little tiny kid. No offense, Jonathan, but this was a kid about your build. And let's just say I dropped like a dead sack of potatoes. Flopped off of the trampoline, crawled my way into my house, which was good 30, 40 feet away from the trampoline. And didn't move for a while. Friend of mine came over, asked me if we wanted to go. He was running to the liquor store, asked me if I wanted anything. And I sat there and thought about it. I was like, what, I don't really feel like partying. And then I was like, what? Yes, I do. So we went out and we went and picked up I picked up a couple different bottles of stuff. My drink of choice at the time as far as alcohol besides Jack, we were drinking 99 berries. If you guys know what that is. In fact, they don't make it anymore, which really pisses me off because I really like that. So you mix 99 berries with amp energy drink.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah, that one bottle and a 6-pack of amp energy drink will party you through the night. And that was back before all the stupid kids drinking the Four Locos and screwing up that whole freaking thing because they had to start chugging Four Locos like they were freaking Pepsis. But yeah, got smashed on purpose to the point to where you couldn't feel any pain, and then I got my revenge on that kid, and then passed out. Woke up extremely in pain, curled up around the toilet.
Oh.
But yeah, I ended up losing a week's worth of work because of that incident because he fucked my back up that well. Bruised 3 vertebrae.
Wow.
Yeah.
It don't take long.
Yeah, Brian's right. Drinking alone is just odd. Can't do it. Gotta have someone to drink with. Yeah, definitely. I find drinking by myself odd. Like I said, if it's going to complement something that I'm eating, having a good beer with a good steak, sure. But just drinking by myself, it's just depressing. It's just drinking by yourself just makes you feel. It tends to lead you to thoughts that aren't happy. So fuck it. As alcohol itself is technically a depressant. It's your friends that help keep you above that line when you're out having fun.
Yeah.
When you're by yourself, your head tends to take you places you don't want it to go.
That's usually how it goes.
Yep. That's why I do not drink when I am upset, nor do I drink when I'm by myself.
Yeah, I've done that before.
Don't. It never ends up well.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, lesson learned. Do not drink when you are not in a good mood. And drink responsibly.
Yeah.
And don't ever drink Coors Light.
Hard root beer float, definitely. Not your grandfather's root beer is freaking epic.
What is it?
Not your grandfather's root beer, or not your daddy's root beer. I forget what else.
Not your father's root beer.
That's what
it's not your father's root beer, dummy.
You realize
I have like 3 of them in the fridge.
It has been probably close to 6 or 7 years since I've had one. Why? I was still living in Reading when I had my
last. It's like $10 for a 6-pack. It's not that bad.
Again, I don't drink by myself, so there's no point in me buying them unless I know that, you know what I mean? It's not something that I would just drink to drink. So, I'll have a case of Yingling because I can throw them in the fridge, and I can pull one out when I want it. Or most of the time what I'll do is I'll throw a couple in the fridge the day or two before the live stream. But yeah, there was a time where I would keep, when I lived by myself, I'd keep the 2 bottom drawers that you would use for crispers. One would be filled with Yingling, and the other one would be filled with things like Mike's Hard Lemonade and things like that are more just fun to drink. Yeah, there's a time I used to freaking keep, but then again, my friends lived right next door. You know, so we were always freaking, chilling and having a good time.
Well, I'm gonna hop off here for tonight. I gotta work tomorrow morning.
All right, bye-bye. Well, thank you for joining.
All right, later.
Peace.
Yep.
Have a good night, man.
But but the thing is in this day and age, you know how hard it is to freaking find new friends? Unless you want to go to a bar. And that's not particularly where I want to go find new friends.
Yeah, for real.
I don't want the friends that get smashed and freaking have to go to the bar every freaking other night, but it is what it is. Finding new friends anymore is really hard. People don't go out and go do things a whole lot. They don't. We don't. The last time I freaking heard, I used to do Horseshoe League all the time. I don't even know if there's a Horseshoe League up here in this area where I'm at.
Damn.
I know there's a pool league that runs through here, but I'm not that good at pool. I'm good enough to be able to play, but not good enough to
play professionally.
Not even professionally. Up here, it's not professional.
Or competitively.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of it's just a bunch of guys and girls that you know bar hop and go to the different, and they keep a tab for 3 months.
Just an excuse to go to a different bar every other night.
Right, exactly. But I'm not good enough that I feel like I would be useful to a team in that way. Darts, horseshoes, sure. I don't even know if there's a dart league around here. Like down where I'm from, which is out by Valley Forge, horseshoes and darts and things like that, you find them everywhere. But I don't know this area up here. I'm not from up here.
Yeah.
This is
had a rather interesting ride in that area last year.
Where Valley Forge?
Straight through Valley Forge Park with the truck. I missed a turn trying to go to a pickup somewhere up in that area. I'm like, yeah, the road kept getting smaller and smaller, and then I come around the corner and see these two cannons pointing at me. I said, I think I made a wrong turn.
Yeah.
And nowhere to turn around. You just got to keep going and going. It felt like the Energizer Bunny. Keep going and going and going.
You're lucky you didn't go through Valley Forge Park, and you just might as well go deer bowling. They don't have, a deer here and there. They have herds of deer.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like the freaking scene out of freaking Jurassic Park with the Gallimimuses.
Nerd.
Shut up. Chris, what's in the truck?
We got a half a truckload of bear bait.
You got apples?
Bear bait.
Yeah, apples. Come on. Pay attention to the stream. Are you busy playing video games over there?
And some leprechauns again.
And what, leprechauns?
Leprechauns.
Yep, those two.
Short Irish people.
Hey, shut up. I'm Irish. Remember?
I'm Irish too.
All right, so we got apricots and apples in the truck today. Which direction you heading today? You heading our direction, or are you heading west?
Yeah, back to Philly.
Back to Philly?
Yeah, every time I got fruit on, I'm coming back to Philly.
And when you got cheese and wine, you're going out west?
Yep. Yeah, cheese, deli meat, yogurt, all that shit. That's our west sides. So anytime I'm coming in, if I'm fruit or potatoes, I'm headed east.
All right.
Perturters.
We end up with spuds if we end up in Idaho.
Apples and bananas. Oh, my kid's stuck on that song. He likes it now. Oh, you know when you're a parent, when you get things stuck in your head, well, when I was growing up, it was because of my sister was that age, but things like Blue's Clues and Baby Shark and Disney songs.
Yeah, you like that song that comes on the radio when you're hitting the snooze button in the morning. You can't get rid of it all day long.
That's like having kids.
Uh-huh.
Except for it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Baby Shark was it for a while. Moana for a while. That You're Welcome song from that The Rock does.
My biggest one was that damn little song. I don't know what's that, some little cheerleader cartoon song thing or whatever.
I don't know.
Damn granddaughter running around with the doll all the time singing. I was like, all right, give it a rest. My God. Enough.
Broken records.
Enough. I can't remember what it is right now, thank God.
Right? But all right, so we got apples. What's the next thing? I don't know if we have anything for this one. I haven't heard anybody having any issues. So this is our segment. No, what did I do? I clicked the wrong one.
Smooth move, Xbox.
There we go. This is our segment where we all just express all of the bullshit that our vehicles are putting us through. Not necessarily a truck. That's just where the line started with, was Biggie always constantly having issues with his truck. I lost my
and it's still going on.
Oh, we still got... All right, so maybe we should start with you, Biggie. What's wrong with the truck this week?
Well, I've already mentioned everything. Still got the EVAP code because I haven't done anything about it. And I still got the catalytic converter code unless I didn't get a chance to talk about that.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think it was 2 weeks ago that we had our last stream. Sorry, I've been sporadic because, oh my God, Paw Patrol. Oh, that's not even fair. Or, shoot.
What's wrong with the truck? The 2-lane highway was too soft to support the weight of the jack to change the goddamn blowout of a super single.
That was last week, wasn't it?
Last Sunday. You
Yeah.
didn't do a show.
Yeah, because you were telling me about that. Yeah, I didn't do my show because I wasn't getting anybody that was responding to text messages. So I'm not like, if nobody's responding, I'm gonna assume people are all out having fun. So yeah, I wasn't gonna have a live stream if I wasn't gonna have anybody up here to come join. And not to mention,
I'll be in every week. I'm just late getting here because we have a business meeting 8 o'clock. We do every night. We do a radio show.
Oh. Well, I'm more important. I was here first.
Involved in. But yeah, it was interesting. I mean, Highway 212 going across Montana, 2-lane road. You know, you get the right tires off on the shoulder, and the left side of the truck was still in the lane.
Cletus says he's got a Mazda 6 with a timing issue, and an Impala with a bad radiator, and an Odyssey with a bad transmission solenoids.
Yeah.
I didn't think Hondas had issues. Did Hondas ever break?
Not per se. Honda's one of the most reliable cars you could find.
Yeah. Were you able to get that? Obviously, you were able to get it changed at some point there, Chris.
What? No, he's just still rolling with it.
It wouldn't be rolling. It would be thumping. Thump, 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 thump. Did we lose you, Chris?
No, we're here.
Okay. Alrighty. Shall that roll into the next segment? Because Cletus is already freaking talking about it. Current projects. You have any current projects, Biggie? They don't have to be automotive related, just current projects.
I got this thing. I don't know how well it's going to show up. I don't know if it's going to mirror or not, but we got this.
Those the little metal foil things.
Yeah, this one's a little tiny tank.
I have a TARDIS. From,
of course you do,
Doctor
you nerd.
No, it's not because of me. I'm not a Doctor Who fan. Jess is a Doctor Who fan.
Oh.
Now, I did have a shit ton of those. I had Empire State Building. I had a tractor, a bunch of different other stuff. I have no idea where they went, but that was way back when in the great losing of stuff. That was back in that time period, the great loss.
Yeah.
But actually, they're hard to find anymore. They're not easy to find.
We'll have to start a new segment.
What?
What's new for the garage?
I don't have a what's new for the garage. Because honestly, I haven't seen my garage in I don't know how long.
You'll have to start a new one.
Oh,
I found one.
You found a garage?
No, a new for the garage.
Well, you're always finding freaking new, but that's what current projects is for. That's not what's new for the garage. It's called current projects. If you got something new coming into the project, this is where you say it.
1990 Pontiac Formula Firebird 5.0 with a 5-speed.
Oh, it's a 90?
90.
You lost my interest at third gen.
For $1,200. It'd be third gen.
Yeah, I said third gen. You lost my interest at third gen. I am not. Unfortunately, I am not a fan of third gen Firebirds. I think they are absolutely hideous, and they were, as far as I'm concerned, they were ugly. They were really poorly built and cheap as hell looking. They do not show their age well.
The only thing you can give them credit for is carrying on the Firebird name to get to the next generation when they brought the WS6 out.
Right. And I am not a fan of Firebirds after 79 all the way up until 98. So 98 is when I started liking Firebirds again. The first time I saw a black on black 98 Trans Am, in fact, you know what commercial it was? The one where they start the car up in the dark alley, and they started with that Pontiac Excitement campaign. That is my black on black 1998 WS6. Just that is.
So you didn't like the 80 and 81 either?
Mm-mm. No, because why would I want a Trans Am that couldn't get out of its own way? The biggest engine you could get in that was a turbo 301.
I'll give you that.
I mean, yeah,
but
they
still
look
the same
the
body
same.
size, easily
the
transferable.
Right, but if that's today. But I'm like, if I were to buy a brand new car in 80 or 81, it would not have been a Trans Am. Because in 80 or 81, you wouldn't have been freaking engine swapping that the second you got it unless you had money. And at that point, there were other better cars you could have gotten for that price.
Yeah.
Not many, but there are. Huh?
God forbid, you might have bought a vet.
In 80 or 81? Maybe 82. And not because of the engine in it again.
Yeah, well, you still would have had a 350.
Well,
not that there's anything to brag about.
No, because the 350 only made 100. The 350 and 80 from at least from 77 on up until they started doing throttle body, they only made like 180 to 195 horsepower. Yeah. My inline 6 in my Nova would have beaten a stock 8-cylinder in its time.
Damn.
Yeah, you got the 8-cylinder. I mean, the 6-cylinder had it on torque at just about. It didn't have it on horsepower because in 80, back then it would have been what 105 horsepower, but they weighed a lot less than the V8s. So I don't know. Oh.
But torquey.
Yeah.
You're not on call, are you?
No.
Well, your house is calling you.
All right, Chris and Vicky, can you hold the?
It's the second time they called you.
Can you hold the line for me?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know what you got. You guys can. I don't know. Figure. We can talk. Chris, why don't you talk about your current projects that you said you just picked up? The Trans Am.
We haven't picked it up yet, but I
gotta,
the last time home.
Yeah, I got to deal with a work issue, so I'll be right back.
All right.
Went to the bed. It's an idea. Yeah. I told Miss Farmer, I said, "Oh, we got number 7 coming. If we decide to do it, I mean, the price is right. You know, just because it's a Firebird. I mean, the guy said he wanted $1,200 for it. And it's an original formula, so it's not it's not something that's been cloned or half slapped together.
Nice.
It's same lot where I bought the 1980 that we have. That,
cool.
Like Sean said, was one of the original turbocharged boat anchored things, which, believe it or not, that's why people didn't buy it, because it didn't have the original engine, because somebody took that boat anchor out and dropped a 455 under the hood. I'm like, hello? A big block is bad? What's wrong with this? Why? But it was hilarious because the last time I don't remember when I went somewhere, I had the car trailer, and I kept getting asked by Miss Formley, why do you have your car trailer on the truck? Why is the car trailer on the truck? I'm like, well, we're going to go get the lights worked on. You know, then I'm sitting there holding the phone where I'm at the trailer after we loaded it, trying to get the chains dug up, chain it down. It's like, what's the car? Now I'm hauling it for somebody. Yeah, then she realized it was another one we bought for us. Which led into a 10-minute pause of, oh crap out of her. So it was interesting. I know we're getting ready to get the 84 on. We tried to do it 2 weeks ago, but the battery was dead. So the battery's at the house being charged. So probably this next time I go through the house, we'll pull the 84 out of the garage. That way we can get all the snowmobiles in.
I wish I could afford nice things like snowmobiles.
They'll get there. Just takes a good job. We're just at that point where we can get some decent stuff to play with. I just need to get the time to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I got the money. I just don't have a place to put it.
There's 2 of them that we bought that I didn't even get to ride this year.
Oh, jeez.
Because I got one I hauled up north that I bought back in PA. It's a 96 XCR, Polaris XCR 600 triple.
Nice.
So I hauled it north and rode it for a few hours. Then we got one of the Rev platform Skidoos that she got to ride a few times around the yard at the house. And then the other two, I mean, the day we picked it up, I think it's a 2001, with the one that I've been looking for. Hell, I've probably been looking for 14 years for one of the XCR 800 triples that they come out with, the last triple they made, XCR 800. I got one of those. I got to ride it around the guy's yard where we test drove it when we bought it. Other than that, I brought it home, the snow melted. I didn't get started again.
Damn.
And then we got God, I don't remember the year. She may have to type in that if she remembers, if she's listening. We got one of the Polaris Rocky Mountain Kings, but it's an 800 twin that's, it was all reworked. New top end, new pipes, intake kit and everything by SLP. But basically a set of dual pipes with a stinger on it.
Nice.
Oh my God, is that thing ever? Yeah. I started it when I come home one time. She went and picked it up, brought it home. It's still tied down on the trailer where she brought it home. So I fired it up to see what it sounded like. Holy Christ, is that thing loud? But not sure where the hell we're going to be able to ride it because we don't get enough snow around the house out there. I mean, it's a mountain sled, so it's got like a 2.5 inch cleat tracks. It's 2.5 or 3 inch paddles. But it's a wheelie puller.
I'm sure. Well, they got snowmobiles now that are freaking 2-stroke, 3-cylinder turbocharged, making 200 horsepower. Like anybody needs that between their legs.
Yeah, it's ridiculous what they've done with them. And they went so far from all this new design they stopped with, like rider up riding, to put you up and center you up over the front of it more. It's like there's no body work. It's just you got an aluminum magnesium frame with the hinges stuck in the center, and then body panels velcroed to the side of it. Like compact, but man, do they ever corner? Holy crap! I mean, the difference in steering. Yeah, like the Skidoo we got, it's one of the first rider up platforms that were out with an 800 twin in it. Yeah, I mean, and dual carbide skis on the outside. There's so much corners like it's on rails. You really flip the handlebars. It's like cutting around with a studded track.
I'm just reading the comments because I had to take care of some work issues. Being a supervisor doesn't stop because I'm not at work. Oh.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, staff didn't show up. And staff complaining because they were still stuck there. It wasn't even from my house either. It's just my staff went to a different house to relieve somebody. Well, went to a different house to fill in a spot and then got stuck there.
And that's what happens.
Because the person that was supposed to relieve her never showed up.
Yeah, you gotta hate that.
Oh yeah, especially when you're there for 12 hours straight and then your relief doesn't show up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that makes you really want to be at work.
Yeah, so someone could never understand is what relationship was in. Why when I come home and get out of the truck, all I wanted to do was, I didn't give a shit if I was sitting in a chair in the yard, under the tree, or in the house. Oh, can we go here, brother? No. I don't want to go nowhere. People know where we live. If they want to visit, I'm home. Come on over. We'll fire the barbecue up. Well, they're too busy. Well, then they're not friends. I mean, you're going to fire up the barbecue and offer them free beer and barbecue and they can't come visit because you're home? Fuck them. Sorry. Excuse my French, but simply, you're going to fire up a barbecue and have a barbecue and beer and all they got to do is show up and shoot the crap and not have to bring nothing? What's wrong with that?
I don't know.
Life ain't that busy. If your life's that busy, it's because you got too much shit that's controlling your life. You're not controlling it yourself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. I gotta put my head back in the live stream now. It really pulled me out of it. Oh, it's like go ahead.
Here's a little piece of news that is kind of sad, but not really. Chevy's killing off the Sonic, but they're going to ramp up production of the Bolt.
Well, they were basically one and almost. I mean, the Sonic was the hybrid, right?
No. The Volt was the hybrid.
The Sonic was the all electric.
No, Sonic is gasoline. Sonic is the replacement for the Aveo.
Oh, okay.
The Bolt is the EV version of the Sonic, which, I mean, the first Bolt they made was actually pretty quick. It was like 400 feet of torque.
I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this right now. Be used to seeing that. They're going to start killing off the gasoline cars.
Yeah.
They're just going to go away. They're not going to... The writing has been on the wall. They're going to kill them off one by one.
Well...
Yeah. I wonder whatever happened to that Sonic that someone stuffed an LS3 into.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Me either.
If they follow California's lead, trying to outlaw diesel trucks by, what was it, 2030 or something like that? Yeah, good luck with that, California, but hey, whatever.
Oh, California's also the ones that got rid of all the psych hospitals, only to have to reopen them freaking a couple years later.
Yep.
You know, it's... The thing is unless I don't think that electric is going to be as stable enough to be mainstream completely.
Oh no, there's gonna be
especially when you get to rural areas.
Yeah, I was gonna say in cities you could do it, in rural areas,
charging of it cross country.
Huh?
There's not enough infrastructure across country to support the recharging of them when you need to stop and recharge them.
Exactly. They're great for staying within a short distance, but there's not enough of it out there to be able to go long distance.
Even with the new one Tesla brought out, that was it a 450-mile range an hour or something like that, extended range.
All right.
Just because it has a bigger battery, okay, big deal.
I don't know.
Travel down across the Southwest once, and find out or up in the North.
It's bad enough trying to find. Sometimes it's bad enough just trying to find a gas station within distance.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like me. I mean, I actually scared myself last time. I fueled up in southern South Dakota, and I run the whole way to Philly. I never bought fuel again.
Wow.
Which really good mileage on the truck for being, as heavy as I was. But,
from South Dakota to Philly without stopping?
I was thirsty.
Right. Yeah, it's not even necessarily... It doesn't matter how far your truck can go. How far can you go? Oh.
Yeah, not as far as a truck can drive most days. I can guarantee that.
I am actually really amazed, guys. We have been sitting at 8 viewers consistently since like 9:30.
Nice.
I mean, we've had a little bit like a drop one, gain one here or there, but we have averaged 8 viewers since 9:30. So everybody that's in here that's been chit-chatting.
Bonus points. Everybody gets 25 points to buy a candy bar.
I think I'm a little bit better than 25 points. I mean, come on.
I was just thinking candy bar. I mean,
not everybody likes candy bars. All right, let's see. What about let's go 2,000 points. We'll go big bucks here.
Sweet Jesus.
2,000 points for everybody that's sitting here in the chat. So, I will give you guys a couple minutes that if you're sitting here listening to get your comments in the chat, where you get the points, because we all know that if you're not commenting, you don't get the points. So there are 8 people in here, so there should be at least 8 different comments, and you all get 2,000 points. Now, if you guys don't know, you get points for being active in the chat regardless, but they're small. Every once in a while, I'll throw out points if we have people that have been sitting here for a while, just because you guys are loyal and chilling out with us. I'm thinking maybe by the end of the year, whoever's maybe the top couple or random whatever, give out some merch or stickers or something at the end of the year. Because I still haven't found a concrete way to use these points, but
Yes, hilarious.
they're more fun.
Miss Farmy's still holding out for the Roadster.
I'm not giving away a Roadster. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Maybe a Hot Wheels car.
Tesla Roadster.
Maybe.
All right, so there we go. 2,000 loyalty points. Oh, and the other thing is speaking of Cletus, he's gonna drag himself out. If you notice, Cletus down in the bottom, underneath where we're all chit-chatting, there's this little speedometer gauge with his name on it. Now, you can get your name there by donating to the live stream. And when you donate to the live stream, if you donate enough, it kicks his high horse butt off of that totem pole down there. As you see, somebody's taken a little chunk out of him. And somebody has taken a little bit of chunk out of him. So anybody who wants to donate to the live stream probably would take him the rest of the way out. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do, because that will also give you points. In fact, I know that there's 2 people in my live stream right now that are not subscribed. If they would hit that subscribe button, do have a nice little animation that pops up, and you get free points for subscribing during the live stream. So I don't think that we've gotten anybody interesting. No, I have not gotten anybody interesting recently. But yeah.
Oh, what the hell?
Oh, what?
Mazda's making a pickup again.
Mazda's making a pickup?
Yeah, but it's based on an Isuzu chassis.
Oh, they're not going to go with the freaking the Dodge Mazda crossover again? Because that's how the Neon and that got their engine.
No, that was Mitsubishi.
That was Mitsubishi. Oh, that's Mitsubishi. That's right. Mitsubishi had a... No, Mitsubishi and Mazda are the same.
No.
Pretty sure?
No. Not even.
Who is Mitsubishi's other partner?
I don't think Mitsubishi has another partner. Wait, maybe it's Peugeot? No, it's Nissan.
Because I do believe the Ford, Mazda, Dodge, Mitsubishi. Oh, Ford and Mazda, that's what it was. Ford and Mazda. It was the
Yeah. Yeah, Ford and Mazda. It was Dodge, Mitsubishi, and also Chrysler, Mitsubishi.
Is that not working?
Hmm.
The stream boss is deciding not to listen to Mrs. Mormy's.
Not listening to the boss.
All right. Chevy and Isuzu. The stream boss was just chilling in here like not long ago. And now it's deciding to not follow the streamer apparently now.
Weird.
I mean, I can figure out who's on top. Cletus with 27,440. Matt MPG with 25,060. C Outlaw with 11,850. DIY Misfit Mechanic with 11,770. Miss Formula at 7,915.
Good lord.
Now, top hours logged in would be Miss Formy at 1792. Followed closely by Pilot at 16.08. That's if this is accurate, which I don't believe it is. Because, like I said, I don't think Stream Boss is following now.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to reset Stream Boss here. Now, we'll see if that helps. It's like I like using the Streamlabs, but sometimes it just does not. Like it should just fucking work, and it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And it's YouTube. I think it's whatever is with YouTube, because when it's Twitch, it's on top of it with Twitch. Okay. There we go.
Current projects. NASCAR street legal.
How's that going?
There you go. There's the top points. See, that's how fast it should have done it before. So, you know what? We're going to do that again. We're going to add another 2,000 points because I don't think it actually worked. So, we're just going to hit that again. Hey, you know what? Somebody would close into you real fast. All they'd have to do is donate to the stream and help me out. But...
Damn.
What
a cool video moment.
What?
This damn car just hit a deer and flipped it up over the roof of the car and over the guardrail off the interstate.
Bowling for beer. We're bowling for deer over here. See, and your camera was facing your frickin' ugly ass.
Ooh.
Yeah, it wouldn't have showed up anyways, as dark as it is out.
Your headlights would have caught it.
Maybe.
I don't know how well does it turn your. It's not easy for you to turn your camera around, is it?
Yeah, mine's clean. I'd have to pick the phone up, hold it up in my hand to even be able to see.
Yeah, no. I'd rather you be driving.
In this truck.
You be driving. I don't know if Chris has a dash cam on that truck.
I do, but right now it's unhooked.
Well, that's helpful.
I haven't put it back up since I got back in this truck.
Oh, what's free? Oh, no kidding.
Let's see, where is the new people at anyway? That would tell me if they got the points, because I already know they don't have. Let's see. Yeah, I'd only had given it to him once.
Oh.
In fact, I only gave it to one of them, because they're not both there. Unless he's not here at all. No, I haven't seen really recently. Low lid. I haven't seen him here on here recently. Just looking at the different ones. Speedy Chick's Garage hasn't been on here in a while. Bill the Harley guy, I haven't seen him here in a while either. Will hasn't been on here the last couple of times. I know Kip was here for a little bit in the beginning.
There's times I'm glad I don't have outside facing cameras, because there's stuff I've seen my eyes can't unsee that I wouldn't want caught on film.
Fat chick running across the road without her clothes on? Guarantee you that wouldn't splat like a deer.
And then some.
Okay. Oh. In fact, yeah, I didn't see. Desiree has 2,000 points, but I didn't see the other, the Brian. By the way, if you don't know, you can check to see how many points you are by hitting exclamation point and then typing in points right after it as one word. No capital letters, just exclamation point, points. What do they call? They call that accent, the accent mark. Yes, you were all people jumping in. Yes, all the people jumping. Oh my God, I'm lucky you haven't run into any of that stupid bullshit there, Chris. The people blocking the roads.
I have. A couple times up by Seattle trying to get into one of my deliveries.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I don't understand what they're trying to accomplish. Huh? I don't understand what they're trying to accomplish. What does stopping traffic on a highway have to do with your message?
Not a damn thing other than to cause shit for everybody.
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that I am against their message. I think that everybody should be treated equally and nobody should be abused in any way, whether by whoever it is. I don't care if it's the cops, your neighbor down the street, your wife. Nobody deserves to be treated like shit, whatever you are. You know, it doesn't matter what skin color you are. It doesn't matter what sexual preference you're into. It doesn't matter. You're human. You know, at the end of the day, at the end of your life, we're all the same. We're all, you know, we all die the same.
We all bleed red.
Exactly. There's no reason for you to treat somebody else differently. But you know what? There's also respecting each other as well. And you know, you're trying to get, you know, regardless of what side you're on, if trying to get your message across to somebody else resolves into somebody else's stress, or I should say anxiety or pain or any other, then you're not doing anybody any good. And again, don't care what side you're on. Just if you are causing somebody else misery in some other way to get your point across, then you're doing it wrong. You know, looting, it hurts the business owner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously, pinning somebody to the ground to the point to where they have a long life-sustaining injury, again, you're not doing it right. If I can take care of people with mental illness that are clinically insane and not hurt them, you know, then obviously you're doing it wrong if you're hurting somebody doing your job. You should not have to hurt somebody to do your job. You should not have to hurt somebody to get your point across.
Yeah.
Whether you're in a relationship or a protest or your job or anything, everybody deserves respect until they do something to not deserve that respect. You know, I go into any situation meeting somebody and, you know, you give them that token of respect up front. Whether they choose to throw it back at you or not is up to them. Oh. Anyway.
It's like the cliche, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force them to drink.
Right. And the thing is yeah, I don't judge somebody until they give me a reason to judge them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I am, as Jess called me, I tend to see through rose-colored glasses, so I tend to see the best in people, regardless of whether they deserve it or not.
Beautiful, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Honey,
There we go. Oh, I love that one. Thank you, Desiree, for the donation. And you know what? That means she paid through PayPal. That is my absolutely favorite animation. You have no idea. I thought that one was going to be more of a hit and I would be able to hear it more often, but the Facebook one, oh, she did not. She almost killed you there, Cletus. Almost got you.
Almost.
He says, ouch, that one almost took me out. Yeah, you're pretty darn close.
Just about.
Almost took you out. But yeah, that's my favorite animation. Now, all of those animations, the ones for the subscriber, the ones for the Facebook donation and PayPal donation, I made those. So I handpicked those, put them up there. I should probably make new ones, but they don't use them enough for me to have gotten bored of them yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, most of the people that subscribe to my channel don't subscribe during my live stream. So I don't get to see those. If you don't know how to subscribe, there's a button down underneath of the video that says subscribe. There's also a button down there that says like. Hit that one. Not the thumbs down, the thumbs up. I mean, if you've been sitting in here watching this long, you know, we do this every Sunday from 9 until whenever. I don't even know what time it is right now because we're having such a great time.
11.
It's 11. Normally, I will give loyalty points out at the very beginning of the stream for whoever's in here right at 9 o'clock. I'll normally do one at 10, 11, and 12. Plus maybe random ones here and there. Oh yeah, Biggie, you didn't even remind me. You did 1,000 points for guessing my beer of choice, and you never even called me on it. Doesn't that suck?
Yeah.
All right, you are at 32.82. I don't know how you're that low, but okay.
Oh, I guess we lost Chris.
Oh no. So you are now at 4,000. I feel like you should be a lot higher than that.
Beautiful, huh? Honey.
Oh, I hear that again. Oh, she killed you.
Oh.
She took you out. I'm designing some merch right now for my YouTube. Well, you need to design a merch for you lost a no, Monica. Thank you, Desiree. We've been staring at Cletus on my freaking stream for the last like 3 months. He's been up there way too long.
That's funny.
Oh, Chris, you missed it. Cletus has been kicked off the stool.
I crashed at the right time.
Yeah. Cletus kicked the bucket. Then we have a new stream boss, Desiree Berger.
Desiree kicked him out.
Yep. Kicked him out.
Sweet!
Now, does Cletus come back and kick her back out again? Or are we letting her hang out there for a while?
Remains yet to be seen.
I love how it has the Streamlabs logo, though, because she doesn't have an avatar. I didn't realize. I didn't know what they would put there if you didn't have an avatar.
Mm-hmm.
But that's funny. So that's going on 11. We are still sitting steady at 8 viewers. He's got to sell some more cars before he can take his spot back. You know, we should put a poll. We should put a thing up there for donations to get to the EFI unit for the Trans Am.
Mm-hmm.
Stream goal: $1,000 to get the new EFI system for the Trans Am, so I can get it running and driving. Oh, that'd be freaking awesome. And then the fact that I found that it $500 cheaper by buying it used, or refurbished. It's the full kit. It's everything. It's the fuel pump and everything. It's not just the unit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Chris conked out again. He must be going through a bad spot.
I guess.
Oh, we gotta figure out what we're gonna talk about next week. Did you see what was it? Corvette is still delaying production of cars. I think the new yellow cars is actually in production now for the C8 Corvette.
Oh, cool.
That atomic yellow or whatever color it is.
Yeah, probably the most expensive color option there is.
Oh. But yeah, they're starting to hit the studios. Chevy dude, the what's his name down there in Louisiana? I think it's Louisiana. Yeah. He is his customer. If you watch his channel, it's Chevy Dude on YouTube. He has a customer that got one, and he had it delivered to the Corvette Museum. They have a thing where you can pick them up at the Corvette Museum. And he says as soon as he gets back to the area with the car, he's going to have them in the showroom with it to be able to check it out.
Nice.
Because they haven't even seen the yellow ones in person yet. Yeah, that would be freaking awesome, Cletus. In fact, we are closing in on 2,000 subs ourselves. We are just on the brink of 1,850.
Nice.
Yep. So I got 150 subs-ish to go until I hit 2,000 subs. So, yeah, that's going to be a freaking... They're definitely going to be a giveaway for 2,000 subs, but it'll be a live stream giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
Because, regardless, you guys are the ones that are here every week. And yeah, so we'll just do a really big live stream bash for 2,000 subs. Yeah, I probably would. I still have yet to there's no motivation to put that one out. I mean, I've got all of the footage. It's all right here. It's just, there's no motivation to work on it. I want to work on my car. It's not a dishwasher video. Besides, I've been playing freaking 7 Days to Die with Big E and my girlfriend, and yeah, we've been spending way too much time doing that.
Yeah.
But when you have a gamer girlfriend and you just built her a, what, $2,300 PC?
Something like that.
You know, fam is more important. So yeah, we've been spending some quality time together, video gaming, as any video game any video game couple will do.
Mm-hmm.
And I just haven't bothered to live stream it anyway, because who's going to watch live streams from 11 in the morning until like 5, or 11 at night until like 5 in the morning?
Probably no one.
Right? But you know what? It is 11 o'clock-ish. 11:10. We'll probably stay on here for another 20 or 30 minutes if we have more crap to talk about. If not, we'll end up leaving it here. By the way, again, thank you, Desiree, for the stream donations. Much welcome. And been busy with my YouTube and new dealership to play. Well, yeah, but there has been way too much depression and just really down moods because of everything going on, that some bonding time is definitely needed. So mental health before anything. Mental and family health. They come first, because I'm no use to you guys if I'm struggling myself, or my family is struggling. So, you know, they always come first. But, alright, you know what? As Chris pops back in. Maybe. There's no picture, so he may not be here for very long.
Go ding, 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 huh?
Oh, there you go. Yep, I hear you. Hear you. I don't know if we can see you.
It's getting there.
It's getting there. We're just about wondering if we were going to get off here. There, I can see you now. We were talking about
barely
the fact that I'm closing in on 2,000 subscribers, and Cletus said that if I put out the dishwasher video that I've had sitting in the back burner for what, 2, 3, 4 months now, that I'd hit over that 2,000 subs. But it's like, you know, I had to have motivation to do it.
Yeah, generally.
Just haven't had the motivation. I'll probably end up doing it sometime within the next week or two. I don't know. But I've been saying that about getting over to the truck. Just every time that I go to have time to go do that, it's freaking raining. Or I get called in to have to do something at work.
Mm-hmm.
Work being an hour away again doesn't make that fun. The other day I got called. I had to turn some paperwork into the office that they wanted at the end of the day. It took me an hour and 40 minutes to get up to the house to be able to get the paperwork, which I only took 5 minutes at the house to grab the paperwork to be able to leave. And then by the time I got up to the office, they had the carrier that was leaving with that paperwork to go get mailed out had already left. I missed them by 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I actually didn't even realize it when I pulled in, but they were leaving as I was pulling in.
Goddamn.
Drove it out. It took my whole day, because I left at like 12:04 and the carrier left at 2. So, and then I didn't get back to the house until like 4:30. Back to my house, down, you know.
Yeah.
So that was 4 hours for nothing.
That's a bunch of bull.
Because I missed them by 2 minutes. Only to find out that they didn't need the paperwork they just wanted it by then. They didn't need it until the 8th of this month. And that was the 27th of last month that they wanted that. but it wasn't due until the 8th of this month.
No.
We had a good scenic drive.
Yeah, straight up 81 with traffic because they're tearing up the roads in 81 to put in new asphalt. So it was one lane.
Again.
It took me 25 minutes to get from Tamaqua, the hometown Tamaqua as exit, which is exit 138, to get to the other side of Hazleton, which is 145. That normally takes me 3 minutes.
Jesus.
Maybe 3 minutes. Not long. It doesn't take me long. I know that I can get from to the first exit in Hazleton in like 3 minutes, 2-3 minutes.
You're going to be finding some through the woods routes.
I tried. There's none. You can go all the way up 309, but that takes even longer. Tried that one. That one took even longer because there's 81 literally cuts straight up through the mountain. There's no other ones that necessarily there's other roads, but they're normally so small and so all over the mountain because they don't take a direct route that you end up using more time than just taking the highway, even with traffic and construction. Yeah, I tried that one. There's no in the snow, forget it. You only have 81, and which is so scary with all the big rigs sliding and stuff. No offense, Chris, but
I'm sure
big rigs in the snow suck, especially with the hills that they have to climb. I mean, you're gonna think they're going. Some of these hills last for 3-4 miles up.
Jesus.
Can you imagine trucks losing traction on that? They just slide, and then they come across the road, block the whole road off, because they slide, and when they slide, they come down, and then they start, you know what I mean? The front part of the truck tries to pass the back end of the truck as it's coming down the hill. Oh, yeah, it's a scary thing. Somebody said something about 81. I'm not looking and paying attention to the chat.
Yeah, it's a real sphincter gargling moment when you have to look in your mirror and you can read the writing on the side of your own trailer.
Brian's saying that Route 93 takes you straight up 81 to exit 145. Yes, it does. But again, that one can be no better sometimes. And that one's nothing but a giant hill that I wouldn't want to take in the winter either. That's that 93 is that one that we were talking about the last episode with the truck runoff at the bottom of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what that one we were talking about. We were just talking about that one last week with the fact that it's so twisty, you're not even going to make it to the truck runoff. Your truck's going to go over the rail before you ever get to the bottom of the hill to that truck runoff. If you're out of control that bad that you can't stop and you need to use that, I don't know how you're making the corners to get to it. All right, see you later, Cletus.
It's fun sometimes.
Yeah, it's just I mean, this is another reason truck has to get on the road by the end of this year. By the time wintertime hits, truck has to be on the road this year. Because I think it's a scarier drive up to Wilkesboro than it is down to Warnersville in the winter.
Yeah.
Agreed. It's got both of them on that road. 93 is both grade and bends. On 81, it's normally just it's not really bends. It's just the grade. It's pretty steep on 81 as well.
Road pizza, cool.
Did you just hit it?
No, I was lucky. I could straddle it. It's laying right in the middle of the right lane. But it's already split, quartered, carved, and ready for grilling.
Yummy. There was a roadkill on the side of the road to where I take Luca to go to his godparents for babysitting, and somebody had put a sign on it, COVID death, and then a number. I was dying. I passed it the first time, and I was in hysterics for the next 3 miles. I was just dying.
My God.
And then of course it was in the classic prostitute pose that deer tend to find themselves in.
Mm-hmm.
After they've been sitting there for a little bit and their bellies are about the size of 8-month pregnant and their legs are sticking out and freaking,
See, now if it had antlers on it, they could have had another sign. Get your COVID bucks here.
But yeah, that cracks me up when deer get bloated like that. It's just like, oh my god. It just reminds me of Redding.
Don't ever walk up and kick one of them.
Oh my god. Talk about maggot explosion.
I watched watched an idiot we used to work with did that one time.
You just tell an idiot to go up and go poke it. And just watch them get covered in maggots.
I don't know what was funny. It's the fact that he kicked it and it blew up all over him, or the minute it blew up all over him, he puked his guts out. I was, what the hell did you expect?
Who's gonna explode?
It was a raging debate around the shop for about a week. Who exploded the worst, the deer when he kicked it, or him when he started throwing up. I don't know. One of them had projectile vomiting, but it's hard to tell who won that contest.
All right. So we're going to leave you guys hanging for another week. We will be back here 9 p.m. next week. Unless I put a note up on the page saying we're not, because technically I'm on call next week. So.
Gross.
I know, I'm on call for all the houses in my pod.
Ew.
Yeah.
Well, lucky you.
Yeah, and you work in healthcare, you never know. It's not like being on call for a business center or something. Where you're
What's that sonar warning thing goes off?
Warning. Except for we have clients, you never know whether it's a staff member not showing up for work or a client ending up having to rush to the hospital or...
The following video may be detrimental to people's health.
We just hit 9 subs at some point, maybe. No, it's 8. Why did I think it was 9? Alright, we'll see you guys around next week if you guys want to say your goodbyes.
Ciao Bella, everybody. Have fun, enjoy the week, stay safe.
Yes. What about you, Biggie? You gonna say goodbye? He's too busy playing video games, or he froze.
So we had no Super Cat this week?
No Super Cat?
Hey, usually Big E has a bout with Super Cat. You see?
Oh, you know what? I did not see Lucy that whole time this week.
You see that black cape that usually flies through the air at least once.
All right. Well, we're gonna head out. We were just talking about you, Biggie. We're gonna